Okay, here we are again. I'm excited. Are you out there excited? All right. What are you up to today? Here we go again. I am excited to be here. I hope you guys are excited to be here too. What are we up to? We are going to launch another one. Are you ready? Because I know I'm ready. This is going to be a good one too. Today, I have a super special guest. So, everybody out there, hey, I am Jessica Koch. That's right, I am your host, and this is Profound Professionals. And Profound Professionals is an interview series that has been coming to you for 9 years now. We have been rocking it with over 1,000 guests from all over the globe. So check out our past episodes. You just won't believe who you'll see. One of our last guests, believe it or not, was for a while the #1 world guitar hero player in the globe. So we've had all kinds of interesting people on our show who have skills of all kinds, things that'll make you smile, things that'll make you think. And today we have Dr. Barnsley Brown, and she has a phenomenal success rate helping heart-centered business owners soar. Everybody wants to soar, right? We need to soar towards 6 figures. Oh, way more than 6 figures. We don't want to think that small. She offers the Make It Happen Mastermind group coaching program, Get Results Now laser coaching program, Transformational Reiki Training for business owners. Wow, she's doing a lot. It's a mouthful. And Dr. Barnsley is also the creator and host of the most popular Bold Bad Bottom Business Show. We are staying clean for all of the social media platforms out there, so they won't grab and snag us. Grab your free copy of her ebook, How to Overcome Overwhelm. Oh, I took that bad O word out of my vocabulary many years ago. And 7 easy steps. There's a good O word and there's a bad O word. We'll talk about that maybe on another show. But remember that it's www.spirited-solutions.com, and remember that dash. So www.spirited-solutions. Dash is the actual physical dash, not the word dash.com. So if you're listening to this on an audio, you'll get that right. Spirited-solutions.com. Welcome, Dr. Barnsley.
Thank you, Jessica. I am so impressed that you've been doing this for 9 years. That is truly remarkable. But of course, you're a remarkable person, so it doesn't surprise me.
Well, thank you. I love me. I adore me a lot.
Too.
And I think I want everyone out there listening to say, living or watching, just take a minute. Say I love me, because we're pretty awesome people. Gotta love me.
Pat yourself on the head.
Right. When we can love ourselves, we can truly love others, and we can actually truly receive the amazing love we deserve. Okay, tell us a little bit about your journey and story and how you started helping heart-centered entrepreneurs and business owners soar into the way big number goals. I'm thinking 300 plus years of generational wealth for their community and their families. Yes. So massive numbers, possibly billions and trillions. What are we doing, Dr. Barnsley? How can we get them there?
Well, I want to say, first of all, that yes, I help people soar into 6 figures and beyond. And the truth of the matter is that the statistics show that only 12.7% of entrepreneurs get there to 6 figures, which I find just really abominable. I mean, that's horrific to me. So I am all about you not being in the 87.3% that stay beneath 6 figures. That's my whole mission. And there's a reason for that, because I want you to be able to be bigger givers in the world. Especially women. We're the ones who give. We usually have all sorts of causes, and we're volunteering here, we're volunteering there, and we're trying to take care of and help other people. That's really what we're here for. And it's easier when we have money. So I just want to clarify that, because that's very important. Truthfully, I like material things, but they're only a means to an end, which is to make the world better and to help other people who have less than we have. and dogs. Yeah,
Well, and not just now, but for a legacy of that, right? So
exactly.
everything we're accumulating, whether it is, for our best moment now for travel, and it also can be for nice things and nice houses, and
Yeah.
and helping and supporting people, and living just a fantastic, stellar, inspiring kind of life that other people want to strive for. But then building this plan to make so much that there's so much more that will be left beyond you. So some of the millionaires from the 1900s, when everyone was coming over on the boat in New York, some of those families are enjoying approaching 200 years of generational wealth because that foundation was laid. And I think that's something missing in our society and our world and our generations right now. We are not all thinking in the way of laying our success and laying a plan for hundreds of years of generational wealth for the future generations of our country, of our world. So that's why I think what you do is so very important, because it can lead them into those steps and into that thought process with their success. So,
And Jessica, it ain't that hard to be a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. It ain't that hard, y'all. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm sure you are too as well, Jessica. And you know, it ain't that hard. So just to tell you a bit about my background, because you asked that question.
That's what I was wondering.
My grandfather had a 6th grade education, and it wasn't because he wasn't smart. He was super smart, but he didn't have the money to go to school. He became the first millionaire in the family. He was the first person, you'll love this, he was a car mechanic, Jessica, and he worked his way up and began to own different car dealerships. And then he invested in real estate. There were a lot of things that he did, but with a 6th grade education. And really everything that I do is in honor of my grandfather and my grandmother, because the truth of the matter is they didn't have the opportunities that I have. Part of the reason that I had the opportunities for education that I had to go all the way through, well, I worked my way through my PhD, but certainly before that, in my undergrad, they assisted. Even though they were passed, they assisted for my undergrad education. Then I was motivated, and my master's degree and my PhD, I worked 3 jobs and worked all the way through myself to become the first PhD in my family who was a woman, right? But I see that it's not that hard to do. But there are a number of things that we need to keep in mind. And it's not just what we make, it's also how we are stewards of our resources. And money is one of them. Money is just one of them. We have money, we have love / focus, we have our time, and we have our talent. These are our resources. And you know what, Jessica, I always say there's not a lack of resources on this planet. There is not a lack of resources. What there is a lack of resourcefulness, a lack of resourcefulness. And when we develop our muscle of resourcefulness, there's not a thing that we cannot do. We can, whatever we set our mind to, I really believe that we can make it happen. So I came out of that kind of background with my family, and education. For some reason at age 7, I just decided I wanted to be a PhD. I don't know where that came from, Jessica. I was like, I want to be a PhD. But I did read a book every night, mostly to escape from my very dysfunctional family. But I read a book every night, and that was the beginning of Dr. Barnsley, as I call myself now. I figure if Dr. Phil and Dr. Ruth and Dr. Laura can all just shorten their names, I could be Dr.
That's right.
But that's how it all started. And so my first career was in academia. And after about 4 years, well, I taught my way through gradual school. But after 4 years, when I post PhD, finishing the degree, I taught at UNC, and I taught at Duke, and I taught at Wake Forest University. And then I realized, you know what, Jessica, I thought to myself, I'm about 75% satisfied. I really love my students, especially the students at Wake Forest. They were super smart and super motivated. I loved them. They were incredible. But something was missing. And I believed that I could be 95% happy. And so that's when I started my business. And now that's been
95. What's wrong with 100%?
ago.
What's wrong with 100% happy?
Yeah. Well, see, 100%, you can be 100%, but in statistics, they don't let just about anything be 100%. So I figured at least 95%, I'd be doing great.
Well, I'm going to be 110% happy and totally
There you go.
rebel for all the statistics teachers. So there you go.
Yeah. The point being, you don't have to be 3/4 happy, and you don't have to just use 3/4 of your talents. That was the other thing that really frustrated me, is I felt like that I had many gifts that were not being used in academia. In fact, they were frowned upon in academia. One of my gifts being the gift of making people laugh. All right. And Jessica, I do improv comedy for fun, right? And I've even performed in troops, right? But this kind of thing in academia was not considered serious, and you were supposed to be serious. And I just found like it zapped the joy out of my life.
Yeah.
And the joy out of my spirit.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So let's talk about the kinds of people that raise their hand or tap on your shoulder to say, really, I need to learn more about this stuff you're talking about. What's happening in their minds? What are they thinking? What's going on in their business? Where are they when they go, I need a Dr. Barnsley in my life?
I love that question. That is such a great question. What is waking them up at night, or what's waking them up in the morning with worries, right? What worries are waking them up in the morning?
And those worries are actually blocking them from getting what they really want, FYI, just saying.
Yes, because anytime that we constrict our energy with worry or desperation, we've all met those.
Oh, that smells so bad. That's such a good repellent. That's a natural sales repellent. Just be desperate for that sale and you will never make it.
Exactly. So what's usually going on in the mind of the people that I love to work with is they're working hard, but they're not working with the cliche we've heard so many times. They're not working smart. What I mean by that is they don't know what their revenue generating activities are, and they don't know how to execute them. And usually they have a mountain of bills that's piling up. It's like higher than the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and it's starting to lean because it's so high and it's going to tumble over. And they're feeling like they've made mistakes. So many times, Jessica, they've enrolled in other programs that promised the world and didn't provide anything, or provided very little. And they've invested a lot of money. By the time they get to me, sometimes it's $100,000, $150,000, maybe they're even $200,000 in debt. I've seen higher than that, in fact. And they need something that actually works. And they want to work with the creator of the program, which is what is so very different about my program, is that they get me. It's a very small boutique program. You have to apply to get in, right? You got to apply. And when you're in, you get me basically 7 days of the week. I'm accessible by text every single day of the week, and they get power hours every week. They get coaching on demand, and basically they've got access to me as the creator of the program, and they have accountability every single day. We have accountability in a variety of forms, which is what most business owners are missing. Just the accountability. So to return,
and also direction and focus, right? And clarity on what they should be doing, because a lot of businesses, they are working hard. They just are working on the wrong things, or spending their time on the wrong things, or starting something and not completing it all the way, or, getting stuck somewhere. So they move on to something else, or, and then they have a moment or something clears up on their calendar and they go, okay, I don't know. I should be doing something really great with this time. I think I'm going to go have some coffee, and they leave because they don't have the direction on, oh no, you should be making these 3 phone calls for strategic partnerships or referrals or whatever, because you have a moment to breathe. They don't have it mapped out in a way that is clearly structured. So,
and they don't understand not only what revenue generating activities are, but what are the short-term revenue generating activities, the ones that are the low-hanging fruit, so to speak, and what are the longer-term revenue generating activities, such as being a guest on a podcast or having your own podcast. These are long-term strategies that bring you visibility and eventually may bring revenue, but they are not the short-term ones. So there's so much that has to be taught, and having given business presentations for over 22 years now at many small business centers and for many corporations and other businesses, you know, Jessica, I have so many different trainings that I can share with my folks. And in particular, I'm a creative marketing expert. And I love working with those cultural creatives. Those are my people. Those are the ones that when they tap me on the shoulder, I'm like, yes, let's work with this actress who doesn't know how to make money. Let's work with her and get her making a living. Let's work with this network marketing person and let's get them. As one of my clients, for instance, she had over $3,000 of sales straight out of the gate in her first month. Her first month in her business and her first month working with me. That's pretty amazing. Yeah. You know, these are the kinds of results that I like to give people. Now, let me just say that I like to help people achieve, because I don't give them. You have to work for them, obviously.
It's always exciting when a client like that gets to, you know, go to their big annual conference and walk across the stage and you can say, I was a part of that success, you know, and it just makes you feel that that's taking our time right this minute and living our legacy right now. We've activated right this minute, because it is out there and the ripples affecting people in so many ways.
Because you know, Jessica, every time I have an enrollment conversation with someone, you know what I visualize? I visualize that behind that person, I see all the people that they're going to impact. And not just their family members and, you know, their children, their grandchildren. I'm a new grandma, by the way.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Elias, her name, and she just had her 6-month half birthday. So I see behind those people, the people they love who are in their immediate sphere, but then I see all the people who they're going to help. And it's a long line and there's no way to see the end of it. And I'm always aware when that person's in front of me, somebody's life depends on this person. Someone's life depends on this person.
Yeah, you just don't have any idea how many people they're holding up. And then the inspiration that you give to those, you know, that they provided those people, and then it just keeps going. You know, that's why I think I'm so obsessed with this concept of legacy and inspiring others from every aspect of it. And again, not just money, and creativity and art and song and story, and, you know, just there's so many ways. So if I come and work with you, let's move on to a tip, unless you want to tell us more about your program, because I feel like there's some things you do in your program that someone could do right now today, and they'll be on their way to success. But are there any other comments on your program or your business you want to make before we get to the hot tip for the day?
I would just say that I have 2 different programs. One is the Get Results Now laser coaching program, and that's for people who want to work individually. And basically for a year, they get me on demand for 15-minute coaching programs. But all the accountability is really on them, because they must do the assignments that we agree on in between the sessions. All right. So if we meet on a Monday and they do the assignment Monday afternoon, we can meet on Tuesday morning, or we can even meet on Monday evening before it's too late. Right. But the accountability is on them. And so my favorite for people to join is the Make It Happen Mastermind. And actually that one is only for women, because women work together differently. And that one is a 12-month program in which we really move them from perhaps making nothing in their business. Usually the people I'm working with are making $0 to a couple of $1,000s a month when they come in, and we get them to have regular 5-figure months, 10,000 and up. Which, of course, if you do the math, that will get them to 6 figures very quickly. So that's what we do. We do it with, I call it with ease and peace. Ease and peace. So we deal with the mindset issues as well as strategy. And we do both together, because you can't have one without the other. If I give you strategy, Jessica, and we don't deal with the crappy, desperate mindset that, not you, but that someone might have, then they're never going to have success.
Yeah.
So that just gives you a little bit about that. Now, as for a tip that people could use today, I'm just going to say you need to get a bad bleep ASS business coach, right? You need to get a bad ASS business coach, and it doesn't have to be me, because everyone has a different way of coaching and everyone has a different personality. But I will tell you that if you're someone who really wants to get it done, I'm your gal. But everybody needs coaches. I myself have used 16 coaches in the last 5 years, Jessica. And I'm sure you've used a lot too. How many have you used?
I'd say at least a half a dozen over the course of the last 3 or 4 years. Different coaches for different things. And I'm in different accountability groups for different things. I'm meeting for 2 different accountability situations on Mondays and another one on Fridays. And for a while, and actually I think I'm seeking one again soon, I would do a daily accountability partner in the morning. We would talk in the morning, text in the morning, and text at the end of the day, and sometimes even in the middle of the day. So depending on the different goals or the projects I'm working with, I intensify my accountability situation. So that's a huge part of your program.
It is.
That I think is valuable. But I would love, and I think it's great to get a coach. And I think that's an amazing tip. And, really finding the one that, speaks to your energy, that really is achieving the goals that you're trying to reach, and living the life, not just teaching the life. Those are all important things to do your homework and find a really great coach. But what I'm going to squeeze an extra tip out of you.
Sure.
What's an action item that they can do that is usually like one of the first low-hanging fruit things that brings cash in when you first get started with, the majority of your clients? You find this one thing begins to, make the money app ding, right? Hey, there's money. Hey, there's money. I love those apps when I get pinged and money just entered my account. That's an exciting sound to hear. How can we help them with that?
Well, first you've got to generate people raising their hands. Now, this could be done with speaking. If you already have experience speaking, we can very quickly create a 10-minute or 20-minute presentation that you can give for networking groups all over. And then people are raising their hand because you always have a CTA, a call to action there. So that's one method of doing it. With social media, there are other ways to do it. And what you do is you watch who's loving, who's hearting, who's commenting, and then you reach out to them directly. But I would say the biggest thing is you've got to reach out directly by phone or Zoom or Facebook Messenger and talk to people face to face. Nothing at the early stages of business, nothing replaces the face-to-face conversation, whether it be in person or on Zoom or on Facebook Messenger or FaceTime. I don't care how you do it, but you need to be doing it. All right. And you've got to learn the enrollment skills, but that comes, we're talking about what can you immediately do?
Yeah.
Immediately got to be speaking and or generating curiosity through social media so that people are giving you a little interest. And then you reach out to them directly, personalized.
Yeah. I think even if you've just been in this business, you say you just got your coaching thing started a year ago, you have more people in your CRM system or on your spreadsheet or in your chats that are saved from networking or on your social media than you realize. And one of the things that I'm making a huge priority for myself and my team this year is just that. Everyone's always talking about, you need to make more leads, make more leads. Yes, you should have something that works on autopilot, some sort of system, like you said, regularly, 3 times a month, you visit someone else's networking group or organization where they let you do a short presentation, or or you have your own monthly workshop, or whatever it is that you have your regular lead generating system, and including your virtual networking. But I think one of the things we forget to do is also have a system for work. The majority of us, probably for me, because I've been doing this so long, I could not go to a single another networking thing or speak at another single thing and spend the next 3 years 100% just following up with the leads I already have, the connections in relationships that I already have, and never need to go to another one of those other things, and probably 10x my income if I just did that. So I love
timing
it.
is everything with that. I want to say timing is everything with that, because when you're going, I do think networking is a huge part of what my clients do. Yeah, and actually at the very beginning, I recommend 4 to 5 times a week, but it has to be in front of their targeted audience. So it can't be you joining just the groups where your colleagues are. That's not going to work. Though I have gotten business from the ICF, the International Coaching Federation. I have. So it's interesting how that can work sometimes. Yes. But you need to be networking, and timing is everything. And so it takes a lot of effort to warm those people. I was going to say warm the leftovers, warm those people that you reached out to before. It can take a lot of effort to warm them up again. It just depends on the quality of it. So for example, if you were on my show, gosh, it's been a while, Jessica, right? At least a year. And then we ran into each other somewhere, and I said, hey, I want to come on your show. And so here I am. But that was because we spent time together. We spent a good hour just really talking. And so I would just say to everybody, keep this in mind. When you're going on podcast and you're guesting, or you're having people like us come on your podcast and speak, you're developing relationships with people who can become your referral partners, who can become your partners in crime, so to speak, for different projects, and who can be the people that you call when you have a question and you need some assistance. You don't know how to get the answer, but you think they would know. So we can always be developing those relationships, and we can be doing it simultaneously while we are also spreading the word about our business. And I don't like the metaphor kill 2 birds with no,
I like birds. They're so pretty.
Like birds, and I've never liked that metaphor, but let's just say feed 2 dogs out of 1 big bowl. How's that?
That's good.
Feed 2 dogs, 2 stray dogs out of 1 big bowl.
Or maybe hit 2 balls with 1 swing. Ooh, that's good, right?
That's right. Hit 2 pickleballs with 1 swing.
That's right.
Sure.
Or achieve 2 tasks by pushing 1 button.
And that's where strategy comes in. And that's why you want to have a really bad ASS coach with you, because you want somebody who knows how to help you get the most for your time. Instead of having you do discrete things, you want to, as you pointed out, have systems and have blocks of time and do like activities. This is another tip for everybody. Do like activities together, because it takes you about 20 minutes to change gears. So if you're just picking up the phone every time somebody calls you, you're wasting innumerable hours in your day doing that. You need to have a time when you return your phone calls. You need to have a time when you reach out to prospects. And that needs to be a sacrosanct time that you don't let anybody take from you, right?
Yeah.
So there's another tip for everyone. today. We gave them
We
3.
gave them lots and lots of tips, and I really want to go back to one of yours original ones is, paying attention to who's raising their hand on your social media. And this can be something very inexpensively and very easily you create a system for that one of your team members or a virtual assistant or someone you outsource or even a free college intern can support you and help do. There's lots of different ways to get help. And because do you know how many bazillion likes that get passed by and there was no conversation or communication or appreciation or acknowledgement of that, and that is a lead slipped by. And it could be a lead of they just share a like thought or a common interest. It could be a lead of they know a networking group that is the perfect fit for you, or it could be a lead that they know the person who needs your services and they liked it because they had someone in mind, or it could be a lead that it's them. But remember not to always look at every lead as it's them, right? A lead can be lots of things that lead to dollars in your bank account and to just growth and knowledge and experience and add to your joy. So yeah, for sure. And visibility. Mm-hmm.
Visibility. And, you will see who's resonating with your content,
Mm-hmm.
You will see that there will be patterns, and there will be patterns of who is liking and loving your stuff. I especially look for the hearts, and you want to be in touch with them. And never forget, here's something that's coming to mind, so it must be important. Never forget that people are watching you.
It's true. They are.
You may never hear from them.
Mm-hmm.
You may not hear a word. And then years later, as recently happened to me, I received a message from someone who quoted me on something I'd said to them that really changed their life. And this was literally back in the 1990s, right? How many years is that?
It's a hot minute.
30 some years. And I have to admit, I really did try to find that person on Facebook and I couldn't find their profile, but I was, I don't know why that was, but it was so powerful, this moment. So even if you haven't had those kinds of moments, just keep in mind that people are watching you and they're modeling their behavior, their business, the way they conduct business, the way they conduct interviews, right, Jessica? All of this, they're modeling on you.
Yeah.
And talk about legacy. That's the legacy, the silent legacy.
And I also feel compelled to say, be careful. Do a little research on your likes and the people following you and things.
Yes.
You reach out to the ones that seem to make sense, right? And we're not giving you. That seems like a good place for a disclaimer before we move into our next segment. Is we're not giving you medical, financial, or legal advice. We're sharing stories, our expertise, our knowledge here. And we would say and suggest it's a good practice to, be careful who you interact with online. I like to believe, 99.999% of the world has a good heart and have good intentions, but there are a percentage of challenges out there, and you just want to do your best to protect yourself and your business. So pay attention and take a look and do a little research if you can, and and then do communicate with those who are following you and supporting you, or because you just might be able to support them too, and good stuff can come from that. Visibility and supporting one another leads right into our cause, a nonprofit cause that's close to your heart. Dr. Barnsley, what do you got?
Who can guess what that cause might be based on
a puppy? I'm thinking a dog. I'm thinking humane society, maybe animals.
Animals. That is my big cause. Well, that, and also the homeless. I've been making homeless kits for people. I realized I had so many from my travels. I had so many shampoos and conditioners that were little. And I thought, God, what can I do with these? What should I do? Oh, let me make homeless kits. So I ordered socks, and I ordered toothbrushes and toothpaste, and I ordered all these things, and I made these beautiful kits. And I'll tell you what, Jessica, I carry them in my car, And, Chapel Hill, Raleigh, Durham, there are certain people we see out, panhandling. Many of them live in the forest. And so the first person that I gave one of these kits to, I was so thrilled. He smiled ear to ear. He had no teeth and he was just so thrilled. And we just had this moment and he just said, "Oh, bless you." And I said, "Bless you too." And we just had this quick little exchange, but it just made me feel good because if you're aware of it, getting clean socks, when you don't have a place to shower is a huge deal because you can just take off the old socks and put the new ones on, right? And having water and some snacks, some other things, it makes a big difference. So that's one of my causes. And then rescue animals. And I have 3 dogs and 2 cats. Jessica, but I also donate a lot to Independent Animal Rescue, where one of the cats came from. And I also have given in the past to the Burlington Animal Shelter. But my favorite is Independent Animal Rescue because it's mostly volunteer there. I think there's only one paid person to kind of hold everything together. And they feed feral cat colonies as well as taking those animals that are going to be euthanized. They take them in and they find homes for them.
I love that. Yeah, we have a cat. We've had many animals over the years, but we only have a cat right now. And we thought at this point in our lives we were done with animals because it's a big commitment. It's a lot of work.
Responsibility.
We have other things and other ideas of the direction of our lives. Well, I don't know, maybe two years now, prior to the holidays, this cat approached me on our front walk and just meowed at me and talked to me for a while, and I meowed back. And we finally, a lot of counties have some great programs. We reach out to because I have children in the house and things. It's a wild cat. I don't know anything about its history or anything.
Yeah.
So the county picked it up and did all the things, So it made it so there's no kittens, and it made sure that it was healthy and safe and didn't have any problems, and it was all good, and chipped it and everything, brought it back to us. And we gave a little donation and when we adopted it in, and they made it really easy. And, we didn't have to start with thousands of dollars of a vet bill or, so it's easier than you think to, just say yes. And I have to tell you, this is the sweetest, kindest, most loving cat that you ever know. I mean, she sits in our laps and she loves on us, and she's just really, really kind and gentle and wonderful. And we haven't had a single issue with her at all. She's well behaved. She does all the things she's supposed to the right way, and just a dream cat. So that her name is Meow Meow, very creatively.
I love that. Meow Meow.
Meow Meow jingles.
I love that she chose you. She chose you. And I really appreciate what you said, Jessica. I'm so glad you said that, because I've been thinking about how can I help. My mother has a B&B up in Mount Airy, North Carolina. We have a lot of entrepreneurs in the family, and there is this black cat that has adopted her, and she already has a cat and a dog. And she said, I just can't let that cat in. And it's been super cold and snowy up there. And I said, Mom, let me buy a warmer for that cat.
Yeah, outdoor warmer.
An outdoor warmer. And she said, well, I'm concerned because it's a historic house. I'm concerned about the electricity, because it's an older home, and we don't really have any plug outside either because it's from the 1850s. Let me, I'm going to make an insulated cat house for it and put blankets in. But you just reminded me, I'm going to call up and see if the county can't go. And now there's not just the black cat, there are 2 others too, because she's been feeding them.
Yeah, they will come. If you feed them, they will come. That is the thing.
And this is what I said to my mom. I said, people just need to neuter and spay their animals. Why don't they do that? But where she's living, there is some ignorance about that.
Well, you have to know about it, and also have to. Sometimes people think that that's going to cost them money. So if you can know that the county has a program, yeah, if the county has a program, then they might
Yeah.
make that phone call. So it's about educating and sharing what's out there, which is why we do this. We want to spend some moments of our podcast sharing some awareness, hopefully to inspire someone to give time, treasure, or talent or thought to a cause that they love of their own, or one that our guest suggests. So it's my honor to have this piece from show number 1 on our show, very intentionally, so that we can spread a little good that way. So I loved that. I occasionally watch, because they bring me so much joy, the old Price is Right with Bob Barker.
Yes.
And he always used to say at the end, have your pet spayed or neutered,
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
So
at the end of every show, he was a very big advocate of animals.
Loved Bob Barker.
Yeah, he was a riot.
Well, with the name Barker, he had to be an advocate.
Barker. Never thought of that, but yeah, they even over the course of the years he was on had pets from the local shelters, and they would feature them as part of.
I remember that.
Yeah, and that was his motivation too, his inspiration, and his desire to support animals. So I love that.
I just believe that people who are good people are good to animals. And you can really tell the character of a person when you've got one of your animals there, because they can tell. They have no filters. They can tell. They can see through any BS. They can see right to the core.
Now, sometimes you have to give the person a benefit of the doubt, because sometimes they're just afraid. And the animal pick up on fear, and some people have legitimate fears from past experiences as children.
They've been bitten. Yeah.
So I've definitely, as a child, I had several traumatic animal experiences. So I was very animal skittish, but my husband and all my children love animals. So we've had dogs and hamsters and birds and cats and everything under the sun. Actually, we don't have enough time to talk about the zoo that we've had in the house.
Snakes?
Oh no, but not willingly.
No.
My son got a bucket of copperheads, baby copperheads, and brought them along over. Oh my gosh, we all about had heart failure. But yeah, I've had all kinds of animals, raccoons with rabies, and we've had all kinds of animal experiences. A big zoo, but and it was difficult for me because I was I still had my challenges, but with Meow Meow has melted them all away. She's just so loving to me. Matter of fact, I went through a couple of medical instances, and she wouldn't leave my side as I healed. So just a sweet pea.
I love the name Meow Meow.
Yeah.
My mother's cat, one of the cats that passed away was named Kitty.
You're Kitty. They're very creative in the cat naming world.
That cat thought it was so loved. Because what are people doing? Everybody's going, here, Kitty, outside the door. That cat was like, everybody loves me.
Well, we have a very, very real danger of the remainder of this show being animal discussions. So we're going to move to the other things that inspire us are the amazing authors that have written books that inspired our personal life or helped us grow our business. And we've gained inspiration from them as well. What's a book that you love?
Oh, I love The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I love that. And I also love The Art of Happiness by the Dalai Lama. These are my 2 favorite books.
Very
the
good.
Dalai Lama didn't write that book. It was written using transcriptions and
inspired by
his talks and his conferences with people. Yeah.
I love that.
Wonderful.
Good books. And you've written some books. Let's talk about those.
Yes. Well, since you mentioned Bob Barker, I feel like I should do like the ladies on his show. Here we go. Wait. I've got it. My nails aren't completely done, but okay. So this is my Get Out of Debt, Get On With Your Life package, which is Every Woman's Guide to Create Prosperity with What You Have Right Now. And the first book the larger book is all about consciousness and the consciousness of abundance and prosperity. And then the smaller book is 50 nifty ways to prosper right now. And this gives you ways to pay off your mortgage in, for example, a third the time. And it gives you ways to travel. I call it travel like a rock star on a yard sale budget. And then there's also a CD, which in the ebook is downloadable, which includes a visualization for abundance that I recorded with a friend of mine, Dr. Suzanne Gaddis. So yeah, these are available in the e-form on my website. At spirited-solutions.com. Solutions with an S.com.
And that dash is an actual little line. It's not the word dash. So there you go. All right. Well, that's good stuff. It's been lots of fun having you on the show today.
You too, Jessica. I really enjoyed it. And, you know, we come back to that word of legacy. You know, we're leaving a legacy just in this podcast. And my hope is that everyone listening, that you'll take something you heard and you'll take an action step, just a small action step, just a small action step.
And if you're listening out there and thinking, well, wait, I've written books, I've got programs, I'm helping people left, right, and center, I should be featured on this podcast. Well, come on out, reach out to us and our team. We'd love to feature you on our show. But before we go today, before we let Dr. Barnsley off the hook, we're going to ask her to share a final thought, some information or inspiration as we roll out today.
I would just come back to what I said earlier. And that is, somebody's life depends on you. And I would add to it one more thing. And that is yes, you are the answer to someone's prayer.
I love that. I love that. All right, everybody. I am your host, Jessica Koch. This has been another Profound Professionals. And until the next one, be kind to yourself out there and be kind to each other. Bye, everybody.